Hello Cancer, and welcome to your in-depth March astrology forecast for the Sun or the Ascendant. If you're new to my channel, I'd be honoured if you subscribed. This month begins in exciting fashion. The Sun's in the part of your scope to do with expanding your horizons. You also have Mercury in this location, the planet of thought and talk, but Mercury is in retrograde. And on the 4th of the month, Mercury inverts and goes back into the sign preceding Pisces, Aquarius. I think this month is going to have quite a lot of your thinking dominated by this Mercury retrograde, but it can actually be a positive process. Mercury retrograde, as you know, asks us to be very careful about the details of things. So if you are travelling anywhere, or you're applying for a course, or you are working on any kind of contractual situation, you do need to be meticulously careful about the finer detail. That's a given with Mercury retrograde. But because it inverts into Aquarius on the 4th, it then goes forwards on the 10th, and then back into Pisces on the 16th, you have got this distribution of energy between the two signs, Aquarius and Pisces. Now, Aquarius energy for you is very much about what you invest in deeply. So it could be you're going to find yourself at the heart of this month, certainly week 2, thinking very carefully, not just about what you're reading or what people are saying, but perhaps trying to understand what it really means as far as you're concerned. But also on the 5th of this month, Venus, the planet of love and attraction, moves into an enchanted area for you, a much more sociable location, and it also combines with Uranus, the most unpredictable influence in the heavens. Now this can give you a real push to be a little bit bolder about the type of people you can link up with. And it's possible that a new partnership is going to emerge for you this month, but it doesn't have to be a romantic one. It could well be an alliance with someone that just really understands where you're coming from, or your principles, or your philosophies. And your philosophies are certainly going to be enriched from the 5th through to the 12th, because the Sun is going to be combining with Neptune. This is one of the most spiritual of all combinations. If you are someone who's very interested in raising your consciousness, this can be a very special time. Whether you're interested in mindfulness or meditation or esoteric subjects like astrology is really down to you. Your openness to them is really going to be heightened quite considerably. If you are traveling, or you're watching any movies, or you're taking part in photography, you're going to have an even more enriched awareness, and your senses can really be ablaze with all that you experience. But it probably also means that if you are thinking about making some hard and fast decisions about expansion, that things could be a little bit fluid. And I think for all of us, Mercury retrograde is about that. It is about being aware that there can be stops and starts and changes of plan, and being okay with that. But also, in a more strategic way, from the 9th through to the end of the month, Jupiter, the planet of growth, combines with Pluto. This is a gorgeous alliance. People who have Jupiter conjunct Pluto, the same aspect as this, in their natal horoscopes are often very fortunate, particularly financially. But for you, it's occurring in your sector of relating. And I feel this is why someone could come into your world who can be a real asset to you and you to them. So a mutually beneficial tie is certainly on the astral cards. Now, of course, you may be thinking we have a full moon on the 9th. What is the significance? Well, this occurs in Virgo, which for you is very much about your everyday thinking, whereas on the other side of the heavens, the Sun in Pisces is about your higher thinking. And I think this full moon, because it does link with both Jupiter and Pluto, is going to be very good, actually. I think it's going to be, we know that full moons can be when we crystallize a process, and that's possible that you can feel enriched at this time. But I also feel that you can be very excited by what you're learning, who you're connecting with, and how your situation is changing. So in general, a very positive full moon. But that combination between Venus and Uranus is fascinating. If you're in a romantic relationship which is really stuck, this could see you wanting to create more space for yourself. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to end, but certainly with Jupiter conjunct Pluto, the planet of change, and Jupiter is very much about growth, if a relationship did come to an end at this time, I think there would be a sense of being philosophical about it. Now, also on the 10th, Mercury starts to go forward. So if you have been waiting on some news linked to some kind of financial situation, a pension, an inheritance, a legacy, or some kind of investment, there can be good news between now and the 15th of this month. However, on the 20th, we have the vernal equinox, and the sun returns to the start of its astrological journey in the sign of Aries. For you, this is about your role in the wider world. So it can be to do with your ambitions, it can be to do with clarifying your goals and aims, it can be to do with wanting more responsibility over the following 4 weeks, particularly from the new moon which occurs in Aries on the 24th. So set your intentions in that regard. But also, with the sun moving into Aries, it combines with Chiron, the comet, which is very much to do with healing. So if you have gone through a period where you haven't quite known what your role should be in the wider world, or something you were working towards didn't work out quite as you hoped, this can be a time of real renewal and a time to feel much better about what you do have to offer. Whatever anyone else feels, it's our relationship with us. But acclaim and greater respect can come your way on the back of that new moon in the following month. It also forges a semi-sextile with Uranus. Uranus is tucked away for you in the 11th house, the sun in the 10th. So don't be surprised if it's a case of who, as much as what you know, can be influential as far as your career is concerned. But a really mega event occurs on the 22nd because Saturn moves out of Capricorn, where it's been for 2.25 years and into the sign of Aquarius. It's going to be followed this month by Mars. Now, Mars has been in a sterling location for you up until the end of this month. For the last 2 weeks of February and for the whole of this month, it's been helping you to reinforce your boundaries, particularly in relationships. But now it moves into an area which is much more to do with raw resources. So it's to do with what you do with ensuring that your talents and hard work give you some kind of return. And with Saturn here as well, you could be very focused if you are trying to work with anything financially. But this can also be about deep commitments. And Saturn conjunct Mars can lead to some frustration, so just be aware of that as this month draws to a close. But Mercury, now it's gone back into Pisces, repeats a wonderful sextile that it had in February with Uranus, and I think that there could be some kind of brilliant discussion, enlightenment, something that really sparks your imagination as this month draws to a close. So you can see that Mercury is going to be very influential, but there's so much more going on, and it really can be a month of you realizing your true potential in so many ways, Cancer. But for now, it's been a real pleasure being with you. If you'd like to ascend above your zodiac sign and embrace personal astrology, you can order your 12-month personal forecast and also your character analysis by clicking on the link below. Or you can choose to have a one-to-one consultation with me. But for now, good luck and goodbye.